Today we're going to be delving into something that's been eating away at my golf game for the last 2 years, the dreaded chipping yips. If you've ever struggled with your short game, you know how frustrating it can be. And what's even more frustrating, I play off a handicap of 2. So trust me when I say that chipping yips can happen to anyone, no matter what your skill level is.
Oh.
So after trying to power through it on my own with no luck, I decided enough was enough. It was time to get professional help, and who better to turn to than the short game king himself, Dan Grieve. Dan has taken the world by storm, going viral on social media with his short game magic. He's coached celebrities, YouTubers, including Rick Shields, who's struggled with his short game for a long period of time, and even some of the top pros in the game. He's the head pro at Woburn Golf Club, a PGA Master Coach, a Golf Monthly Top 50 coach, and if that wasn't enough, he's also a #1 international best-selling author. So safe to say, the guy knows his stuff. I actually decided to buy his book before having this lesson, and I have to admit, it's a really, really good book. Link in description if you're interested in also buying that from Amazon. It doesn't cost you too much, but it's a good way to delve into the teachings of Dan Grieve before making a commitment to have a lesson with him. Now, I know what you're thinking. That kind of experience doesn't come cheap. It really doesn't. A one-on-one lesson with Dan is an investment. And while I'm sure it's worth every penny, not all of us have that kind of cash lying around. But don't worry, that's where Skillest comes in. The Skillest is an online platform that allows you to access renowned golf coaches for a fraction of the cost of in-person lessons. You create an account, find the coach you want to work with, in this case Dan Grieve, and send over the videos of your swing or short game for analysis. I signed up, and for £90 I was able to have a remote lesson with Dan himself. I believe they also do occasional discount codes as well, which is what I use. So before it would have been £100, which came down to 90. So here's how it works. Any of you that know anything about Dan Grieve is that he teaches the 3 releases as his main short game methods. Release 1, which is more of a bump and run shot. Release 2, which is more of a softer landing, spinnier, slightly higher flighted shot. And release 3, which is more of a flop shot. So I took one video of all 3 techniques down the line and one video of all 3 techniques face on. Sent them over to Dan and waited for his feedback. It's super simple, and the best part of it is that you can do from your own golf course or even from your own backyard. Now this is where the magic happens. Within 48 hours, Dan had sent me back video breaking down what he saw, where my technique was wrong, and most importantly, how to fix it. He sent me analysis on each video I sent him, and also another 5-minute video breaking down everything that's wrong with it and how I can improve. He gave me drills to work on, specific adjustments to make, and I could immediately see where the yips were creeping into my game. So these were the shorter videos that he sent me, breaking down each video individually.
Alex, hope you're well. Thanks for sending these in. This is you chip and run here, isn't it? So I quite like your setup. Arms look a little bit rigid. We can maybe soften those. I like the swing plane. It's a little bit tilty, if anything. The kind of shoulder tilts down a bit. The kind of shaft through the arm's good, but it's a bit, yeah, it's a little bit tilted. We've got to get you turning this way a little bit more instead of tilting the shoulder down too much, which then gets you a little bit under with the right shoulder and a bit drivey with the grip. So we'll shallow the shoulder turn out and it should get better. Face on. Fantastic. Yeah, it just tilts a bit. And back under. It's not bad at all actually, but we can tidy it up. So release 2, soft landing shot. You say you struggle from tight wet lies, it's because it's extremely steep. Shaft's very steep. Okay, so we've got to get a lot more torso turn. And we need to get the shaft more this way. With less wrist hinge, okay, because it's coming down too steep, so it's just not really on the ground for long enough for you to get consistency. A little bit drivey as well, kind of driving in the lower body through a bit. Setup's good, ball position, that's all nice. Yeah, a bit tilty again, you see, a bit too wristy. The release point's excellent, but it's forced and it's quite wide, so you're sort of forcing the release rather than letting the release happen. Release 3, it's good. I get further away for release 3 from the ball than that. face can get a lot more open. Not really releasing it, kind of pulling down and holding. Potentially thinner for you doing it that way.
And this was the main lesson video which he sent me, very personalised.
Hey Alex, hope you're well. Thanks for sending the videos in. Some good stuff there for sure. Clearly a good player. We're just going to tidy things up a bit for you. Right, so we'll start with the chip and run. A lot of good things in setup actually. Your basics are pretty good. You're a little bit rigid with your arms, okay, a bit long and straight with the arms. Just let them soften. If you let your arms hang naturally, that's how they should sit on the grip, okay, a little bit of folding. So that straight away is going to give you a lot more feel and finesse as you swing without being too rigid, okay. So that's good. The rest of your basics I'm very happy with. Now, when you go back, you're a little bit of a tilter. So you sort of somewhat tilt this way, club gets in the air a little bit, big gap here, okay. And then from there, you match it by going low with the right shoulder, which kind of throws the hands too far forward. So we've got to shallow it out a little bit in terms of your body action. So do this first actually. This will help all of your short game actually, not just this shot. But thumbs together, hands back as far as they go, triceps in. Okay, just imagine you're pushing an inflatable underwater, push down, and then from there just move this way to this way. Okay, just don't think too much about it, and you'll probably move as I am. See how the hands work slightly in to slightly in. You can see how the hips are working as well. So we've got to get you looking more like this. You see how the shoulders are here, you're a little bit more that way. So you're not quite getting the club sliding on the ground like it should do. That's why you're fearing the tight lies, and that's why, you know, you're not getting the strikes you want to be as consistent with when you're trying to vary it. Like when you're trying to vary the flights, like you say, you sometimes just feel like you've got one shot. So when you take it back, this is what we need to do here. Hold your right pelvis, pull the pelvis back and push the arm away, okay? As I said in the video there, your plane's actually quite nice. We just got to make sure it's more this way instead of that way. Okay, so this is your drill. Pull it back there, put your hand on, you see how the things have turned a bit more. And because of how you've turned in the backswing, that's going to replicate better through the ball, and you won't have to go under and throw the arc as wide as you currently do. So triceps nicely on, hip back a little bit, move this way, and then move around the corner, okay? And we've got to try and take out that pull with the hands, but primarily that happens when the body tilts this way instead of going this way. So here, okay, and there's your little release one, okay, so it's more this way. Here, here. Okay, see the arms are connected, it's much more rotational. So that's going to be a chip and run. Your soft landing shot, release 2, a little bit low with the shaft, it's a bit more down here, a little bit softer, lower wrists, and when you go back, you're 2 upright this way, so you need to, same lessons we talked about there, the right side needs to turn more this way, needs to be a bit more folding of the elbow, and the shaft needs to get a little bit more round your body and less sort of upright this way, so more here, okay? I want you to soften your grip pressure as well, because the grip pressure with this shot is really important, because it looks like you're sort of forcing the release rather than letting the release happen. Big difference. The grip pressure wants to be extremely loose, thumb pressure wants to be really light, so when you get back there, the club just wants to look and feel like it's just falling, you see? So you're there and it just falls. So it's there and it falls, and when it falls, you can just pass it through, okay? So it's wide, let it fall, pass it through. Much better in terms of the arc then. You're not going to get these wide arms which you get in the moment. Very difficult to control with your angle of attack and how wide you get that way. You're very much kind of V-shaped. We've got to sit on that V, make it a bit more of a U, so it's more sort of on the ground this way, okay? You release 3, get further away. You've got to really get down. You're not open enough going back with the face. When you go back, you've got to feel your knuckles twisting this way, that way. And if you do that, if you twist the knuckles, you get the face more in this position. Okay, so it's hanging down, not there, okay? It's more that way. The more open you get it, you release 3 is a bit more of an active release. You've got to really go for it. And as you move it, you move around the corner. Try and keep your legs down a little bit more so they're a bit more active. But as you release, it goes around this way, okay? So release and round this way. And you can start popping it up. All right, hopefully that makes sense. You can work on it. It's going to give you different shots around the green. Obviously, you've got to match it to the lie. That's really important. You know, if you've got a really tight hard pan lie, it's hard to start releasing too much bounce. Like you say, you can put a toe down shot, you can try something like that, or just play a release one a bit further back and just sort of hold the loft a bit more. But make sure you rid the lie. You've got 3 different releases there you can use to give you 3 different flights and more versatility around the greens. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Let me know, enjoy working on it. Speak to you soon. Cheers.
So I started working on the drills Dan gave me, and after a few sessions I could really feel the difference. One of the major things I've incorporated, which has made a massive difference around the greens, is gripping the club a lot lighter. In most cases actually around the green, I actually grip it with my thumbs off the grip. This stops me gripping the grip too tight and allows me to take the club back a lot longer and allows it to release better rather than pulling the handle and getting yippy on it. So now that I've had this lesson and started working on everything, my hands were feeling steadier, my confidence is coming back, and I'm finally able to chip without the overwhelming anxiety that have been haunting me for the last 2 years. I've even chipped in quite a few times. My whole mindset around short game has completely changed. Instead of thinking, am I going to hit the green, or am I going to fat it, or am I going to yip it or thin it through the back, I'm thinking more about getting it close and actually having a much more target-based feeling with short game, which has completely taken away a lot of anxiety. Not going to say it's perfect now, there's still a lot to improve on, but it's miles different to how it was before the lesson. Now, it's not a miracle cure, you've got to put in the hard work, but having a coach like Dan in your corner really accelerates the progress. So here's the thing, the yips can happen to anyone. I'm a 2 handicap and I've struggled with them for the last 2 years. If you're out there and you're feeling like your short game is in shambles, you're not alone. Whether you're a low handicapper like me or just starting out, it's okay to ask for help. And with Skillest, you don't need to break the bank to get lessons from some of the world's best. For just £90, I was able to get personalised feedback from Dan Grieve, the same guy who charges £950 for an in-person session. And honestly, that's incredible value. You get his expertise and advice without having to travel or spend a small fortune. And in addition to that, you also get the video to keep for life. So there might be some things that you pick up in a one-to-one lesson, but if it's not videoed, you might forget about it. Whereas with a video, you can keep going back and just double checking if you've gone back to your old technique, or you might pick up on a few other things which you didn't pick up in person. And you don't necessarily get that with an in-person lesson. So if you're struggling with the chipping yips or any part of your short game, I highly recommend giving this a try. It's been a game changer for me, and I know it can help a lot of you out there who might be battling with the same issues that I've had. So a big shout out to Dan Grieve for helping me to get back on track, and Skillest for making it so accessible. If you've been thinking about getting a lesson but weren't sure where to start, Skillest is an awesome option. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself. None of this is sponsored by Skillest. I paid for the lesson out of my own money, but there is a link down below if you do want to do that yourself. I've also linked Dan Grieve's book down below as well. Like I said, it's a really, really good golf book if you just want to delve into some of his teachings initially. If you do use the link below, that does help out me and does help out the channel. And like I said, it's the first way I actually found out about Dan Grieve's, and it really does help to have the book, have the lesson, and combine the two, and yeah, hopefully take charge of your short game. So that's it for today, guys. If you've enjoyed the video or found it helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe down below, and drop a comment below if you've ever struggled with the yips yourself. Let's have a conversation going. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching.